Alrighty, guys, I am so excited for today's video. This is going to be my first energy healing video. So this is going to be the first one in my playlist for energy healing. So I'm really excited. Today we are going to be focusing on healing the masculine energies within. And so if you are brand new to this channel, if you're brand new to me, please go back and watch my beginners playlist and learn about source energy, learn about how to channel, how to protect your energy, all of those things. Okay, it's very important that you establish that foundational information first before you proceed with the energy healing. Okay. So, because the whole purpose is to teach you guys how to do this yourself, right? And to take your power back and connect with your self healing. Okay. So, um, I'm gonna have to go through my books and literally like fish out how I healed my masculine energy within. And it's not gonna be too much, but the reason why I want to go through these books is because there's so many different what do I want to call it? Like so many different perspectives, I guess you could say, like so many different experiences that souls can have having wounded masculine energy. And I really just like want to cover my tracks and make sure that I just get everything I absolutely can in this video around healing the masculine energy within, because it is very important to do that in order to start healing the feminine energy. Okay. So here we go. Oh yeah, one more thing, quick disclaimer is the way my self healing videos are going to go is you guys are going to be healing yourself like very drastically, and like my healing videos are designed for massive transformation. So this is not going to be like one thing and then you take a couple of weeks and a couple months to move on to the next thing. Like no, we're going to go boom 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 boom, cover everything, and there's going to be a massive shift. So internally and externally, all right? Your cells, your physical body cells, are going to shift and transform. Your vibration, your energy vibration is going to increase, okay? And this is going to cause a lot of new changes in your life, okay? You're going to notice how certain relationships are out of alignment, okay? Because you're doing the energy healing. You're healing and releasing that trauma and you're welcoming back your natural frequency. And so naturally, you're going to be disgusted or turned off by certain things moving forward. Some of you might get super sensitive to energies. I don't know. I can't speak for every soul because every soul is different and every soul is on their own journey, which is another reason why I want to cover all these bases as well. But you might start getting sensitive to other people's negative projections in the grocery store or just out in public in general, or, you know, in the road. Driving, you're going to start feeling people project their stuff at you. So, this is why going back to the basics is so important before we deep dive. So, okay. Go ahead right now, get out your journals, get out some paper, get out some pens. If you have any crystals, please get those out too. It's not that you like need crystals, but I just love holding selenite on my palms whenever I go to clear my energy because I can feel like the energetic aftermath on my skin. Like literally, I'm that sensitive. So, or you can just ask Source to like clear your energy after each thing that we do. So, totally up to you guys. Okay, let's get started. So, I want to start with summer of 2022. Okay, this is when I first started healing my masculine energy. So I'm gonna be super freaking vulnerable with you guys. I used to have anger management issues. Like, like I used to blow up at people all the time. Like I was super aggressive and very toxic, very low vibrational. Like I just I would just go into complete like inner psycho mode. Okay. And so I wrote down, feel free to take notes and just grab what resonates with you. Okay. And so I wrote down some things are simply out of your control. So true. Remind yourself that anger won't fix anything and might make it worse. The reason why we experience the emotion of anger is because of having our boundaries violated. Okay. That's like the biggest reason why. Here's another one. Oh my gosh. Don't hold a grudge. Forgiveness is a powerful tool. Now, I need to talk about this really quick because everybody has different perspectives on forgiveness. And depending on what level of perception you're looking at it is how how you're gonna form your beliefs around it, okay? So, my personal, where I'm at in my journey, my own beliefs that I currently have right now that are resonating with my highest contracts and the highest good of all involved is I personally believe in forgiving myself, not forgiving the situation, not forgiving the other person. Now I'm going to explain why. Because go back to my original playlist, learn about what source energy is, that pure life force energy, okay, and how it branches itself out to experience itself, okay? So we're all just source experiencing itself. And so basically, when somebody wrongs you or you're in a situation where, um, yeah, where someone's wronging you at the highest level, okay, that other being is another emanation of source, is an emanation of yourself. I'm like seeing so many orbs behind my webcam. And so, really, at the end of the day, doesn't that really mean that you're just forgiving yourself? Because, it was you. Okay, here's the thing is our souls on the other side, they sign something called soul contracts. We sign these contracts before incarnating so that we can extract wisdom from experiencing certain traumas. Sometimes, I would say, certain karmic situations are just completions of old energy. Okay, so sometimes we write contracts to complete old energy. Sometimes we write contracts to experience the beginning of a cycle. It just depends. Okay, it depends on where each soul's journey is. Like I said, and I will say this time and time again, every soul is different. Everyone's journey is different. So I will never speak for like everybody, just like a blanket statement. Okay. And so with that being said, knowing that information that you yourself, your soul, before you incarnated and before you fractaled yourself out and just experienced a shitload of trauma, traumatic lifetimes, just fucked up stuff, right? And just knowing that you chose that, it's so empowering because you're like, okay, wait a minute, I can take my power back. And because I deep down made all these choices originally on the other side, like I can take my power back and go, okay, I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. Now, it this practice, so I started doing Ho'oponopono back in I think like 2021, which is like this forgiveness meditation. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And the first time I did that, oh my gosh, the first time I did that in an energy healing session, um it was with my Holocaust past lifetime where I like saw the Nazis that were experimenting and shit and um I just like envisioned my higher self and like their higher self and I was like, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And I did that and it like cleared the energy. It was so crazy, so freaking crazy. It didn't just like clear everything, but it freed me, it freed my soul because I no longer gave my power away. I no longer allowed those souls in that lifetime to rob me of my internal happiness. Like I took my power back by saying, you know what? I forgive myself. I forgive you, Grayson. I forgive you. Like doing that mirror work, doing those meditations, um, is really what's going to help you move forward in your own soul evolution. And so, um, that is just my belief. I disagree with people who say like you have to forgive the other person or you have to forgive the situation because like if you take it up in consciousness, you take it up the next level, like they're really just an emanation of yourself and like a super high way, if that makes sense. And so you're really just forgiving yourself so deep, right? Um, yeah. Anyways, that Ho'oponopono, I still do that meditation to this day. Okay. This is an ongoing part of my journey and will be a continuation of my soul's journey moving forward. Right. It's not just going to be in this lifetime. And so, yeah, just keep that in mind. And anytime you come across something that, you feel like you need to let go of, like, deep down that you need to let go of, like, just drop into meditation, make time for yourself, right? Really invest in your self-care and say, okay, like I'm going to put 10 minutes aside And I'm just gonna forgive my fucking self for like 10 minutes. And sometimes this gets really emotional. When I did this for the first time, like I didn't get super emotional. Like I could feel this like residual anger because like my boundaries were being violated. And so, after I did the forgiveness meditation, like with my higher self, like I went into another trance where I was just focusing on me, like just my higher self, my energy. Oh my God. And I was doing the Ho'oponopono meditation and I literally just like wanted to cry because I could feel like my soul self-love for me, like my innate self-love. And I had like never experienced that before in this life. Like I was just so inundated with this love that it just made me like cry. I was like, "Oh my God. Like, what is that?" I thought I was feeling my partner's love at the time. I was like, is that my partner? Like, do they love me this much? And the my mentor was like, "No, like this is you. Like this is you loving yourself. This is how much you actually love yourself." And it was so emotional. Like, oh my God, I couldn't even take it. Um, and so yeah, this is really, really key to healing the masculine energy within. Okay. So, moving forward. Ah, all right. So the next thing I did was I told my masculine energy, like I updated myself to the present moment. I'm like, okay, I live in Utah in the United States. I'm like in the mountains, like I'm safe, I have my cats, like everything's cool, like I'm not in the middle of a war zone, right? Like, so I said to my masculine energy, I said, there's nothing to worry about. You don't need to protect me right now from anything. Everything is fine. We're fine. And it was like this sword was like being put down, like etherically, like metaphorically. Because my like masculine energy was always on the fight, like always on protective mode, right? Because nobody ever made me feel safe. No, I didn't have a healthy masculine figure in my upbringing in my life to make me ever feel safe, ever. So now being 27, now I am a fully grown adult. It's my responsibility to make sure that I keep myself safe, right? Like, whether that means investing in physical protection, okay, with like mace, the spray, having your own gun, I don't really know. Every soul is different. Like I said, every soul's journey is different. So, making sure you are able to physically protect yourself, provide for yourself, so on and so forth. So, then I wrote down these mantras and I said, I am ready to build trust within myself and others. I did not trust myself. And so what happened was I was externally projecting that outside of me. If I keep looking up, it's because I keep seeing so many orbs and beings like flash into my room. So yeah. Anyways, sorry, they distracted me. But yeah, so anything that we externally project is how we internally feel about ourselves. Okay. And then I said, I am ready to heal my lack of trust issues now. I'm also focused on healing my wounded masculine energy. So, and then I wrote down some mantras for healing, which is basically just related to my psychic stuff. Yeah, it's not necessary for my YouTube channel, so good to know. I dropped my book. Okay, let's see. Moving forward. Oh, okay. I just want to write down or say what I wrote down about healing and transforming my trust issues. So I wrote down practice mindful self-compassion. Hey, this is hard. What do you need to get through it? So I found myself going through challenging situations and then starting this self-talk, this inner self-talk of like, okay, Grayson, we're having a really rough day. Like, what do you need right now? And you'll know what you need because everyone's different. Everyone's needs are different. And so this really forces you to like starting to embrace vulnerability. Okay. I just made a podcast about this yesterday. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's like called Embracing Your Authenticity Unapologetically or something along those lines. Go listen to it. Um, Enforcing your personal boundaries. That was so hard for me because I grew up fawning a lot of the times. It was a trauma response where I was trying to appease and calm the abusers around me. Okay. And so I neglected my own needs and put other people first instead of putting myself first. And so I didn't have any boundaries. I didn't understand boundaries. I didn't know how to make boundaries. I didn't know how to enforce them. Okay. And so I felt called to buy this book called How to Set Boundaries or something like that. It was in Barnes and Noble and it had a little sticker under it and it said, great for empaths. And I was like, no way, this is in a Barnes and Noble. They had a little sticky note for empaths. That's crazy. And so, anyways, um, yeah, I wrote down listen to your thoughts, express your authentic self, which is really hard to do when you still have the trauma layers. Okay. Know what truly matters to you, accept that you are not perfect. Ah, you are allowed to make mistakes. It is normal to make mistakes. Making mistakes is just the natural consequences of life, of experimenting with what's right and wrong, right? Like that moral compass, that inner moral compass, okay? Practice honest communication. So telling the truth instead of making stuff up, right? Because that was a huge thing for me. Like it's in my nature, my soul nature to just bluntly tell the truth, tell things like it is. And for the longest time, I had a hard time doing that because um it was like my people pleasing programmings were like, if you tell the truth, you're gonna have your needs neglected all over again. You're gonna have to worry about your shelter. You're gonna be kicked back into survival mode, right? It was like this threatening energy of if I say the truth, I'm gonna lose everything. I'm gonna lose my job. I'm gonna get fired. I had all these things coming up, which, at this time I was working a toxic job. Had I told the truth about what was going on there, I definitely would have gotten fired. um, because right, people don't like the truth. It triggers the fuck out of them. People don't like to see the truth, because they're so used to being inundated with their traumas that when they hear the truth or see it or feel it, it's stings them in a way, you know? Yeah, and last thing is trust your intuition. Trust what is coming through for you. Okay, and if you have a hard time connecting with this, connecting with your intuition, I would say the biggest thing that helped me start listening to myself, to start listening to my intuition was to challenge it, to go against it. And then I got to the point where I was like, okay, I trust myself. I trust what's coming through. Okay. Moving on. Okay. Next. Healing the divine masculine wounds. Okay. Now I made little sections. Okay. You can pause this video and just copy it right there. Okay. Just pause it and write it down. Basically, we have what I found was we have warrior wound, which I had 5 layers in my sacral and root chakra. Um, I want to say that everyone's layers will be different, but we usually all have the same wounds. And so this is where going back to that beginner playlist is essential. So learning how to channel yourself, learning how to tune in and listen to your own energy in your own body and to see, how many layers do you have? Do you have any layers around this wound? Do you even embody this wound? Okay. Um, and so the way I healed it, I just did what I do is when I clear and balance my chakras, I will set the intention to heal and release usually 2 layers at a time. It just depends. I will channel how many layers I can remove at once because when it comes down to healing the feminine and the masculine energies, those are the deepest energies within. And so I usually do 1, maybe 2 layers. But like I said, I will channel it. And so let me show you guys what I had channeled several years ago. So at the top, you see how I wrote 2 layers and then 1 layer, then 1 layer, and then 1 layer. So I felt intuitively guided to remove 2 layers at once and then 1 layer and then 1 layer. And I waited about a couple of minutes in between, very similar to when you go to the gym and you work out and you're doing different sets. You'll do so many sets or you'll do so many reps and then you'll pause for a minute and 30 seconds and then you'll go back and do it again. Same thing with the energy healing. And yeah, I used Ho'oponopono here to do the warrior wound. I said gentle affirmations. Um, I surrendered to this feeling of anxiety that I had, and then it disappeared. So that was interesting. And then moving forward, I had the suppressor wound. Okay. And that was, let's see, there was one layer in my root and two layers in my throat chakra. So your root is at the base of your spine, your sacral's above it, your solar is like where the belly button is, your heart chakra is right here, like in between your breasts, throat chakra is right here, third eye is here, and crown is here. Those are going to be the main chakras that you're going to be focusing on clearing out. And so, yeah, I surrendered to feeling this fear and then it disappeared. And then I healed, and released all the trauma layers out of there. And so I also wrote down it takes 2 days to heal and integrate. So when I started doing the warrior wound, um, I did 2 layers like that one day. And then I waited 2 days to remove the next layer and then so on and so forth. Um, and so yeah, I just recommend intuitively channeling yourself, what works for you, what works for your body. Um, yeah, and just have mercy on yourself. Okay. The next one, I had a thinker wound that was in my crown chakra. So I experienced major exhaustion, especially around my eyes, underneath my eyes, when I was removing the trauma layers out of that chakra. And I said I could feel the layers coming up above my crown, could feel or hear my higher self clear. Okay. And then yeah, that was all I wrote. And then I just did the energy healing where I removed one layer off of my crown chakra. I said, okay, I set the purest intention at the highest vibrational frequency to heal and release this first layer of the thinker wound, send that back to source for healing, and I call back healing energy as pure unconditional love in my natural frequency. And then you can ask your higher self, please bring back whatever else serves my highest good and the highest good of all in my highest contracts moving forward. Okay. All right. And then the next wound was the undeserving wound. So I had 5 layers. One was in my root, 4 were in my crown chakra. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. I was like, should I share this information? I got no. I'm gonna keep that to myself. Um, yeah, when I was removing this trauma, I experienced eye twitching on my eyelids. You know, like when you like get a lack of sleep and you like feel your eye twitching. I hate that. But that's what happened when I removed the trauma. Like my physical body was adjusting, which is why you have to wait a couple of days typically to come back and do this healing because your physical body doesn't, it needs time to catch up. And we're like in the non-physical, it's cleared right away, but in the physical, it like takes a second to catch up. And so, yeah, oh yeah, and I had this deep feeling of undeservingness, and I was projecting that outward consciously and unconsciously into my reality. And so I was meeting people, like going through situations and experiences where it was validating that undeservingness, where people outside of myself, situations outside of myself, experiences outside of myself were validating that I was undeserving because that energy was still in me. Okay. So moving forward. Winner. Um, okay. Yeah, I don't feel called to discuss setting boundaries. This gives you guys time to like take a second to breathe, finish writing your notes, maybe get some snacks. Okay. I wrote down an entry where blah, 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 blah. I thought about making a list of like writing down all of my stuff, but then I was like, nah, let's just go the divine feminine route and just go with the flow and the vibes. But a lot of that trauma was from past lifetimes. And so, seriously, winner. Um, I like to see like the dates that I wrote down in my journal and like what months I did what. And so, anyways, yeah, after I did that in my own journey, I started coming across a lot of ancestral stuff. A lot of inner child stuff started coming up. Oh yeah, my father wound. I had a father wound. Um, yeah, that's another thing is Okay, so a lot of us have mother wounds and father wounds, and they basically like represent our like our current connection that we have with the divine mother aspect of source and the divine father aspect of source. So crazy. With the father wound, okay, this is going to be, go ahead and take some notes here. Um, Scan your energy for past lifetime traumas around father wounds. Okay, just listen, learn to listen within, start meditating, ask for that information to come forward. It might come to you immediately, or you might see it in your external reality, or you might get vibrationally aligned with a medium, somebody who can tap into your Akashic records. Okay, if you don't feel comfortable doing that stuff yourself. I'm also here as well. I do channeling sessions now and psychic surgery sessions now for my home. It would look just like this, except I would just be tapping into your energy, like from the comfort of your own home. So you wouldn't have to move basically. So if you do resonate with my energy, if you do resonate with my vibe, definitely hit me up for sure. Otherwise, just be open to who shows up in your reality. Okay. Um, and yeah, you're gonna scan for um, the energetic wounds of the father wound. You're going to look for energetic residue, low vibrational programmings, low vibrational conditionings, old belief systems, old behavioral patterns, um, trauma layers. Okay. And then every single time that I do energy healing on myself, whenever I heal a wound or like something general overall, like, so say for instance, I just did all that healing with like the father wounds, okay, and I cleared myself out, like no more programmings, no more conditionings around this, like no more low vibey stuff. Then I usually take my selenite wand and I will set the intention to clear my body memory with grace and ease. And I send all old energies back to source for healing. I call back healing energies, pure unconditional love, and healing golden light. Okay. Just had to mention that really quick. Oh, this is so deep. I like forgot I did all this healing. Okay, we're getting close. No worries. We're almost done. Um, okay, yeah, this is some inner work that I did. So we all have this inner warrior within us, like this defender of your soul, okay? And this inner warrior is basically like, I'm going to defend and protect your soul's path. And so, um, maybe like calling him in if this resonates with you and just telling him like, hey, you're not going to provide and protect my ego any longer. He's not going to provide and protect and coddle your little self. He's going to protect and provide for your soul's path. Like that's going to be a huge internal shift. Okay. So definitely experiment with that if that is resonating with you. If you get chills, like goosebumps, that is your soul telling you, like, hey, pay attention. This is resonating with me. And so, yeah. Okay, moving forward. Doo-doo-doo-doo. I'm like coming across so many like fear of flying with y'all. I hate airplanes so much. Oh my God. I love to travel. Like that's literally my dichotomy. I love to travel, but I can't stand airplanes. Like, oh my God. Uh, okay, we are in August of 2022. Okay. I feel like this is when, oh, here we go. Well, no. I feel like I'll bring this up when I start talking about how to heal the feminine energy. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. feel like this is when I started doing my feminine healing, I think. Yeah. Do 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 do. Feel like I already talked about that. Um, ooh, here we go. So funny. I actually wrote notes. September 11th, 2022, and Mercury was in retrograde. There was a full moon in Pisces. Okay. This might be triggering. So, I wrote down we are evolving out of toxic masculine expression into sacred masculine expression. And so in this process, it can get really ugly, rage-filled, fear-filled, projecting, unconscious, so deep. Um, okay, and then I wrote down weak masculine. The weak masculine energy is lack of direction, lack of purpose, lack of capacity to get shit done in this world. What else? Like the planetary energies were basically helping assist with that energy healing at that time for my journey. And so there was like a lot of like egoical dissolving that was going on in my energy. Okay, here we go. Masculine evolution, 3 steps towards the healing and evolution of the masculine within self and the world. So I wrote down, let go of linear stuff. Okay, we live in a multi-dimensional reality. It's not linear like we think it is, okay? So just set that intention to gracefully let go of that programming, and conditionings and whatever other energies that no longer serve, right? Let go of ration, let go of logic, let go of missions, goals, having to get somewhere, because your masculine is just craving just to like be in the present, which is so deep. Um, it's like the sacred masculine is like, let me be love. Let love throw like flow through me momentarily kind of thing. Um, And so yeah, there's this need to like let go of control, let go of trying to predict outcomes. Okay, I was literally just talking about this in my I think my 50/50 video. So interesting. Um yeah, because that's like directly connected to healing the feminine energy. Okay, interesting. Like I haven't looked through this stuff in like 2 years. This is so crazy because now I have like a whole new perspective on my inner work that I wrote down. Do. Okay, I think we are in 2023 now. Yeah. All right, we're in the summer of 2023 now. This looks like a lot of feminine energy healing. This is inner child healing. This is ancestral. Oh, heal wounded masculine energy. Okay, so here's another approach to healing your wounded masculine energy. So I scanned for trauma layers and entities, dark entities. Something really interesting I recently learned is I don't know if any of you have ever heard of IFS. Yeah, IFS therapy, like integrated family systems. Um, but it's so interesting because I figured this out just by doing energy healing on myself like years ago. And this IFS stuff started coming into my awareness like just recently this year. And so interesting. Like it's basically the Western psychology world that talks about how dark entities can attach to you through being traumatized. And like my non-physical like inner workbook, I just figured out that like we have dark entities in our energy lines sometimes, depending on what's going on. So that's pretty interesting that we collided. And so yeah, make sure you channel how many layers you have of wounded masculine energy at this time, and if you have any entities, dark entities, okay? Oh my gosh, I remember this. Oh. Okay, so I remember like last summer, freaking I can't remember if it was like my right ear. I think it was my right ear. It was like blocked. Like I literally had so much fluid built up in my what is it called? Your accession tube, something, I don't know, in your face. Anyway, I had fluid build up and like I would do leg day at the gym and it would like just start coming out. Like it was like a pure yellow liquid. It was so gross. But anyways, like for a month, I had wounded masculine energy that was like blocking my sinuses and causing me to like not be able to hear correctly out my right ear. It was so crazy. And so anyway, I found 4 layers. Sorry, I found 15 layers total and 7 entities. And um so interesting. So yeah, make sure to scan for dark entities. And the way that this is what happens is if you come across, which most people will, don't freak out, don't be afraid. Remember, you are source, okay? That those energies are just secondary life force energy. And so basically, you set the intention, just have source protect your energy 360 degrees in all dimensions, and always, always protect your pets if you have any in the room. You know, put a white light shield up around any roommates or anybody else that's like in your space if you're doing this healing. And then set the intention to invoke source energy, pure life force energy into your energy and to go into your masculine energy and remove all dark entities or beings that no longer serve your journey and highest contracts moving forward. And then have source remove them. You might hear them, you might see them scream, you might feel like energy lift, okay? And then call back healing energies, pure unconditional love, your natural frequency, okay? If this kind of freaks you out, like no worries. I can help you do this healing remotely with my channeling and psychic surgery sessions. So if you're like, fuck that, I don't want to do that, definitely reach out and I will help you for sure. No worries. And let's see what else. So, okay, that was when I did meridian healing. Okay, we are now at July of 2023. Okay, this looks like inner child work. This is a lot more than I was planning on talking about. Let's see. Oh, I remember that full moon. That was horrible. Um, oh yeah, okay. Moving forward. So the month of August of 2023, I did dark masculine energy healing. So this is not going to apply to every soul. But a lot of souls do have this dark masculine energy within. And basically what that means, it's like this ability to it's not a negative thing. It's like this ability to observe like really traumatic stuff and like be present in that energy. And it's like watching somebody pass out right in front of you and just being present and being present with them and being present calling like for help without emotionally unraveling, without having a full-on meltdown or a freak out. Okay, it's like this maturity within of like I can be present and I can like handle this. Um and so yeah, I had let's show you guys. Uh yeah, I had 9 wounds. And this is where it comes in to channel your own energy. Okay, like I had 9 different wounds of dark masculine wounds. Um a lot of it was contributing to my menstrual cramps. Okay, this was crazy. And so different kinds of wounds, this is going to be kind of triggering. Not saying that these are the same wounds that you got as well, but these are just mine. Like ritualistic abuse, like past lifetime abuse. Um, just like in general, like psyche trauma, like that toxic masculinity that I was talking about in my previous videos. If you've been a victim of black magic in past lifetimes, sexual abuse wounds from this lifetime, past lifetimes. Um, oh, I don't know, this is kind of gory. Um, Sorry. That was my timer. I'm gonna go for like 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. I'm getting called to talk about this. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be really disturbing, really triggering. So there was a wound of baby. Oh my God. I can't even say it. Oh my God. I'm just gonna spell it. Okay. Mutilation. Like, ugh. Like I was like a victim of that in a past lifetime. For a lot of you who haven't gone down the rabbit holes of the blood and sex rituals and ritualistic abuse, that is quite common. It's still going on, unfortunately. So it's really important that we heal this energy within ourselves so we can basically like stop seeing it outside of ourselves in the world, okay? Because like I said, everything that is going on outside of us is a collective internal projection. So imagine how many other people on this planet have that wound within, which is why we're all seeing it mirrored back to us. Okay. Um, oh yeah, and then in the ninth wound, I had motion sickness origin. I wrote that down. So whatever wound I went through, I didn't get access to like all the information, but I did get access to some of the emotions that I felt. Like I wrote down 3 layers of overwhelm that came up, 3 layers of worthless that came up, worry, low self-esteem. There were entities in some of these wounds. Okay, so that's a good thing to scan for. Okay, let's see. Okay, this is genetic healing. This is when I moved into genetic healing with that. Oh, that's gonna be a cool conversation one day. That's when I went to Bryce. Oh, I love that national park so much. It was so awesome. Um, I might have to make a part two because it is a lot. So, I think I just might do that. Okay. I'm gonna find one more thing to heal the wounded masculine energy within, and then I'm gonna make a part two. So, okay. I remember this and our work. So deep. So it's like a lot of ancestral, genetic healing, Akashic record stuff. So this feminine energy healing. Wait, let's see something. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay, here's the last thing I'm going to talk about. So this brings me back to September of 2023. Okay, so I had hormonal imbalance problems related to wounded masculine energy. Okay, and then I had total. So I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. You can pause the video here. Just like kind of copy that. Okay. All right, so I had 4 wounds total that were causing a hormonal imbalance because of my masculine energy being wounded. And so I wrote down the first wound was related to old abusive energy. There were no entities I found there. I actually didn't find any entities in any of these wounds. But the second wound, I had persecution trauma on the back end of my throat chakra that was manifesting. Let's see. Third wound was back into my crown chakra. There was like, it was a source of acne showing up on my face, like hormonal acne. And the same thing with the fourth wound. And yeah, there was like old stagnant energy. So that was ready to be released as well. And yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna have to make a part two because this is a lot. and I'm almost done, but this is going to be kind of intense and definitely like this is what I recommend is as you're watching these videos, make yourself a schedule. Like make yourself a schedule in your planner of like, okay, this day I'm going to do this wound with this many layers at once and then just like plan it out. That way you um flow with the energies of the week a lot easier. It's more graceful on your body, your physical body, okay? And just take it easy. All right? You guys got this. I believe in you and I wish you guys so much healing and stay tuned for part 2.